Good morning, classmates and my dear professor. I'm Hazel Joy Crizaldo. I'll be giving my research presentation for COM 399. This is for our online research colloquium for communication research. And before I share my slide, I would like to give a background about my research. So this is the same Commerce group, my mom entrepreneurs group, which I started for my community of practice, and I decided to um, turn it into a dissertation proposal. So this will be the same topic that I will be writing for my dissertation proper. So I hope you can participate with me, discuss with me on how can I improve my research paper. So let's start. So this is the poster I created for our research colloquium. And remember this picture for the commomers? Yeah. So one of my member is manufacturing spreads and dilis, tuyo, and some gourmet and other food products, and they sell it online so they can earn money and take care of their family as well. So this is a usual scenario at home. So the mom is working online and they are also managing their kids at home. So it's a familiar situation or a scenario at home. So my research will run from May 16 to 20. I hope we can have a Zoom live discussion, but for the moment, you can just watch this presentation via YouTube. I'll be posting the link soon in the forum discussion board. So, okay, let's do this. So my research title is Reaching Out, Communicative Strategy of Mothers Using Facebook Group for Online Selling in Barangay Habayuan, Bacoor City during the pandemic period of July 2021 to 2022. So I set the time limit for this because times might change and they might want to go back to office setup for their traditional work. But for the meantime, for the pandemic period, they prefer to work at home and have some business since they are having a hard time finding a full-time job because of the the limitations and um, loss of opportunity or lack of opportunity or very few opportunity for them to work like for a normal setup. So most of them prefer to have a business so they can still manage their family and also at the same time earn some money. Okay. So my research problem for the general, I want to figure out how do the mothers in Barangay Habayuan, Bacoor City use reaching out via Facebook group to communicate to fellow mothers in order to survive the pandemic crisis. Because most of them have lost their traditional jobs in the office. Um, I want to figure out how do they manage to come up with a business at home, and they are cooking food and they sell it here in our barangay to survive this pandemic crisis. But they still have to teach their children for the modules. We all know that the parents in my group, the mothers are the one teaching their children at home. So they are um, doing business, they are teaching their children, and they are managing the home and their family. So all at the same time. So I want to figure out how can they do that, the multitasking, given the crisis that we have during this pandemic. So specifically, how do the mothers in Barangay Habaywan, Bacoor City utilize Facebook group as a means to communicate, chat, call, or video call with fellow mothers to brainstorm ideas on starting a home-based entrepreneurial business to alleviate loss or constraint of financial means due to pandemic? Second, want to figure out how do the mothers in Barangay Habaywan, Bacoor City strategize to multitask housekeeping, rearing of children, seek online entrepreneurial assistance. You don't just cook, but you need to deliver the food to your customers. So they seek delivery assistance and conduct the entrepreneurial business. How do the mothers in Barangay Habaywan, Bacoor City use the features of Facebook group for online selling and for seeking support regarding child care? So not all of my Kamamers members are, this is my Facebook group, the mom entrepreneurs in Cavite and Manila. So not all of them are in a normal traditional marriage setup. Most of them are separated. Most of them are single mothers, and most of them are living alone with their children. So they have to survive working, doing the business, and rearing their children. And I want to figure out how can they manage to do that. So they are also seeking support. So most of our conversations in the Facebook group revolves around what will I do? My child does not want to eat vegetables, doesn't want to study and answer the modules, just want to play all day. My child is sick, what will I do? What the medicines I need to give? I don't have money for go seeking an online doctor consultation or going to the hospital. It's scary. There's a COVID-19 threat. So all of those concerns, those are the usual questions in the chat group that we have. So they seek support regarding child care, and they are so worried about the health of their children, especially when they started to have fever. They are paranoid about having COVID-19. Okay, so the category is social cultural communication, and my research method will be grounded theory, qualitative research. Yeah, I want to come up with the own theory for this social phenomenon and contribute to the communication academe. The grounded theory scrutinizes data and organizes it, undergoing series of steps, analysis, and synthesis until a theory can be formed. It utilizes field research and interviews as strategies. It is effective in studying a phenomenon in a social circle. The collection and multiple comparison of data yields to discovering insights that points to the generation of a theory. It aims to provide explanations on phenomenon and create models. It can also be used to fully discuss an existing theory and recommend alterations towards the creation of a new theory. Both the researcher and the participants will work together towards creating new explanatory models for the social phenomenon and generate a new theory. The researcher will gather data from the interviews and discussions with mother entrepreneurs. Then, based from the collected data, the researcher will code ideas, then summarizes these into categories, then into a theory. If the process is long and it will take time to code, and I need a longer time spent for the mothers, but because I live here in this barangay since I'm a baby, I was born here in Barangay Habayuan. And from childbirth, from until now, I'm 37, going to 38 years old. So I know this mother since childhood. So we have spent a lot of time together. I think I will not have a problem with immersion because I've been dealing with them every day since I was a child. So I think I pretty know them well. Their family, their background. We're just neighbors here. They're just on the other house, left, right, front, beside the back, on the next, we're on the same street actually. So I know their family history. So I know them well. So I think I will not have a problem with time. I just need time spent with them. I just need the time to really collect the data and to code and summarize and synthesize and come up with the categories and the theory. So discussion of a relevant theory. The closest theory that I found out is the symbolic interactionism. So before there is a grounded theory, there is a symbolic interactionism theory. So this theory, as it is closely associated with grounded theory, will help shed light on how mothers in their perceived world of parenting and entrepreneurship create meaning for their social situation and how such experiences shape their behavior and interact with fellow mothers or other people. The symbolic interactionism will elucidate how the world of working mothers take its influence and action in the current times and how such behavior of mothers help shape our daily social interactions during the pandemic. The symbolic interaction is helpful in understanding the meaning of the world of mother entrepreneurs and is helping us understand their world and their behavior and actions that influences and affects us in the community. The symbolic interactionism theory alongside with grounded theory will help discuss deeper and develop a new theory on the phenomenon of mother entrepreneurship during the pandemic. So there is a good uh, relationship between the symbols, the actions, the reality, the meaning, the behavior, the perception, and then the theory. So those words will interrelate with each other, and I'm looking forward. I'm excited to really see how symbolic interactionism will elucidate the meanings in the social phenomenon of mother entrepreneurship during the pandemic and come up with the explanation, meaning, uh, elucidation of this new phenomenon, especially this social situation during the pandemic. So there are other relevant communication theories that can help me explain the grounded theory for this social phenomenon. So I will use uses and gratification theory for the technology part. Remember, this is online selling mostly from Facebook group. We're using the marketplace, Facebook marketplace, to sell the food, the items, the goods. There are some books that we sell, and other secondhand clothes and other items. Relational dialectics, it's in the family setup. How do you manage the family? There's a lot of relationship fixing, especially for the children. They are always asking, where's my father? Where's dad? Where's papa? So how do you manage? You're a single mother. You're separated from your husband. So how do you manage when the child asks, where's my dad? Where's my papa? So why is he not here? So how do you manage that? And if there are some tensions or conflict, I have some members who are in a complicated setup. So how do they manage the conflicts and the fights? So it's a lot of relationship, fixing is happening during this phenomenon. Relationship maintenance. I also have some members who are in a relationship, still in a relationship with their husband. So they are not separated. They are in a usual marriage setup, but of course, it's not a perfect relationship. So they still have to handle some challenging situations with their husband. So how do they uh, keep up with the marriage situation and to keep it going, keep a harmonious home? So how do they manage that? Groupthink by Irving Janis. So groupthink because in our Kamamars group, if there is an event, if someone is selling online, so we also have live selling. We have live selling. So how do the group support? How do the group respond? How do the group agree? And how do the group take it positively or accept some of the offerings online or to reject it? So group think will help explain um, how the mothers wait a minute how the mothers manage the crowd, manage the online crowd for their live selling. Okay, so next we have the social penetration theory. Okay, so some mothers are shy, so to post their items in the group page. So they are still, trying to get to know us, trying to be comfortable. But eventually they are able to get acquainted with the other members, and they were able to sell their items online, and they get used with online selling. Not everyone is used with using digital uh, gadgets or using the internet or using Facebook Marketplace or using Facebook group or using Facebook for online selling. So they're still adjusting and also adjusting with the relationship among the Kamamars members. So how do the how my members adjust to be in for the group? Okay. Social exchange will also help some of the interactions happening online and offline. We also have offline discussions because we're on the same street, we're living on the same barangay, so our conversations will and interactions with each other will help explain social exchange will help explain those interactions that we have made with each other. Communication crisis, of course, there are a lot of challenges and problems that we are dealing with during this pandemic. So this theory will help us, get meanings out of what is happening in our world. Critical theory feminism, it's very difficult to be a woman when you're the one who gave birth, your body's still weak. I have young mothers here. We have newborn babies. So the body's still weak, but they still need to work because they cannot. Okay, I have a situation wherein they are not officially, they are not legally married, but they are living together. They have a child, and it's still difficult because their situation is complicated. So because they are not legally married, so the mother cannot really fully, expect to receive a specific a regular amount of money each month. So the mother is still anxious on how to get money, where to get money, how to produce money so for the baby. So it's very difficult on her part, but still she has to do all of these things, taking care, earning money, providing for the family, because it's if you're a woman, you need to be responsible, especially if you already have a child. So those difficulties and qualities that a woman experiences, it's and you know trying to really push yourself to do things, and you make sense of what's happening in your world. Critical theory feminism will help explain what's happening in your world. So try to give you fresh perspective on your situation. Empowerment theory will really push the level a little bit higher. If you're a very lowly situation, empowerment theory will help explain how women can, improve their situation and try to get some encouragement to overcome their struggles and difficulties. Persuasion theories is useful for the online selling of the products for tinapa, the tuyo, the daing, the spread, the pancit, the baked mac, the spaghetti. Those are the usual food that Micah Mammers are selling online and offline. So yeah, my research title is still a working title, so I'm still thinking about because the restrictions have loosened recently, this recent month. So before we are purely online selling because of the lockdown, but because of the loosening of the restrictions, some of my mothers have ventured into combining it into online and offline because they are allowed to sell in their shops again, or most of them are in front of their houses. It's not really a formal shop or a formal store. Okay, only few have a formal store here who have a business permit, but some do not have business permit, just selling food in front of their house. They just have a table in front of their house and they sell the food there. So persuasion theories will really help in explaining how do the mothers able to generate sales through persuading other people and or fellow mothers to purchase the food products. Okay. The research background. So the researcher has seen how the mothers in Barangay Habaywan, Bacoor, Cavite were closing their stores and shops due to the quarantine protocols and reduction of profits. The mothers were resorting to online selling through Facebook, especially joining Facebook groups to sell their products and services to friends, relatives, and online social networks. The Facebook group has also served as a means to receive and send support to fellow mothers who are experiencing the same crisis of loss of job due to pandemic, reduction of financial means of the family because the breadwinner was laid off to work, and other related financial constraints because of the change in the economic and trade setup of the country. The mothers who have been put to work from home status due to pandemic also seek ways to manage doing the job tasks while doing household chores and taking care of children. So most of my mothers are venting out their struggles because they cannot concentrate on working because the children are noisy. They find themselves taking care of them, helping with the teaching with the module at the same time working. So they find it hard to multitask because they were used to the office setup where they are just on their cubicle or table or office and they can just concentrate on work. But at home, it's difficult to concentrate because, especially if you have younger children, so they are still playing and noisy. So it's a challenge. The mothers who have become entrepreneurs are also seeking ways to manage doing the business while rearing their children during the pandemic. Other mothers whose spouses were repatriated, overseas Filipino workers, have found ways to start their own business to help the family earn income during the pandemic. So some of my members have husbands who are OFW. So they were sent back here in the Philippines, and the husband does not have a job, so the mother needs to come up with the financial means to support the family. So it's a struggle. These financial constraints and new social and family setup during the pandemic prompt the mothers to start their own entrepreneurial business. This phenomenon sparks the curiosity of the researcher to study the topic and explain such through communication analysis. So we come to the definition of terms. So mothers, they can be separated, they can be married, they can be I have a mother who has a legally adopted child. So the child has been with her since a baby, and the child now is a grown up. So binata. So it's a young man. So she considers herself a true mother because she is the one who reared the child from baby and from such a young age to a grown-up age. And yeah, all types of mothers. It's in my member setup. Entrepreneur, a person who is venturing into the business with his or her own effort and coming up with his or her unique product and conducting the selling through his or her own means. The entrepreneur ranges from a self-started food business to a fully legalized business with business permits, FDA certification. So like Tita M's, it has passed the FDA inspection, has received the certificate, has complete documents for DTI, and really selling the products on shelves for the market. So but some do not have their legal papers yet. So it's one of my goal also in the advocacy, communication, and social mobilization subject that it will be a policy for the government of Bacoor to help these mother entrepreneurs to fully legalize and complete the documentation for their business. Reaching out, act of sharing the self with the other person as a means of releasing thoughts, worries, concerns, advice, help, or comfort. A way to share the self to the other person as part of relating and communicating. A way to express the human self and as part of moving the human self as a daily activity for survival. So my research process will be observing the Barangay Habaywan Bacoor City community through I will be having a journal log and recording of the interview mothers of the target population. So we have interview and participation for group discussions, individual and group. I will have the log data, sort key terms, chart key terms, summarize data, chart the data, analyze data, summarize chart data. Of course, these are coding processes, okay? Coding, 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 coding. And analysis conclusion that will have the theory, forming a theory, and then give the recommendation. I have my time frame, but I hope I can follow my time schedule. We're now on the month of May, but I'm still not yet done with the interviews. I have some data gathered from some of the mothers who have previously interviewed. Uh, my our interviews are not that really formal, so it's like I will buy tinapa and then we will have a talk. I will buy some food, then I will have a short talk, and then but of course I need to have a formal interview with them to really focus on the words that they are saying and code everything. So these are my references. So at least 150 books and journals. I hope I can be able to meet those number of sources. Actually, grounded theory, I am not really required to have a thorough review of related literature, but there is a modified, stratified, grounded theory wherein there can be some review of related lit to really help, elucidate some ideas, insights, and thoughts to help, really expound the title, the research title. So I think I will be using the stratified or the modified grounded theory to include some of the review of related lit and also to discuss some of the theories. So grounded theory can also help in really exhausting a theory and come up with a new theory. It's like symbolic interactionism. And then out of it came the grounded theory. So I hope from scrutinizing grounded theory and the other theories, I will be able to come up with a new theory that will serve as my contribution to the communication academe, and that will be a basis for me to be granted the Doctor of Communication. So, but my research title is Grounded Theory. Of course, my research methodology is Grounded Theory, and my research title is, really a challenging one. I hope I can finish it on time and graduate on time, but I really have to double time everything and focus on the research writing. So good luck to me. Good luck to all of us. Good luck to us, classmates. Hi, Professor, and to my advisor, my chair and panel. Whew. Good luck to us. Good luck to us. God bless everyone. Have a great night. To all of the mothers, happy Mother's Day. advance, and I'll see you soon. See you more discussions, and happy Mother's Day. Bye. Vote wisely. My house is so nice, right? Thanks to Zoom background. Bye.